Welcome and thanks for joining us here on the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection on this Friday, September 11th. I'm Deb Gillard, your host for the program today. We are so glad you're with us, and of course, we would not even be coming to you if it were not for the generosity of our Owatonna Today Show supporters. They're businesses and organizations who have supported us, many of them, for quite some time. And we do ask you to tell them thank you, patronize their businesses, support their organizations. They are the ones that allow us to bring you this great information on a weekly basis. Our premier supporters include the United Way of Steele County, Owatonna Public Utilities, Express Employment Professionals, and the City of Owatonna. Primary supporters are the Owatonna Foundation, Little Theater of Owatonna, Brookdale Senior Living Solutions, Amy Swain Hearing Centers. Our interlude supporters are TPS Insurance, the Third Hand Video Productions, Steele County Transitional Housing, Steele County Historical Society, the Owatonna Business Incubator, Clancher and Son Landscaping and Concrete, Horizon Eye Care, Fairview Animal Medical Center, ERA Gillespie Real Estate, Carlson Brandstad and Company CPAs, Glenn Mager and Michael Mager of the Breck Mager Funeral Home and Medford Funeral Home, Brenda Bednar Mortgage Office, Bremer Bank, and Abraham Consulting Technologies. Again, we hope you support these businesses, and if you are a part of a business or know of someone who is, or an organization that would like to be a supporter, a sponsor of the show, please get a hold of Leanne. She'll set out an information packet, and it's just as easy as that. And we'd love to have you on as a sponsor of the program. Get a hold of her at 390-5751, and I believe you can probably shoot an email to owatonnatoday@charter.net as well. We have a great show for you today. We're going to be coming back from our first break. Kay Oberle is with us, and we'll be talking about the AAUW Taste of Steele County fundraiser. Sounds yummy. A little bit later on in the program, we'll be talking about the cleanup with the Cannon River Watershed. So let's take this break for our sponsors. We'll be right back.
I'm Dan Brandstad of Carlson Brandstad and Company, Certified Public Accountants. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you in mind in everything we do. Owatonna Public Utilities.
Greetings from the Steele County Historical Society. We invite you to visit us and enjoy your county's history at the History Center and Village of Yesteryear. Check our website for current exhibits and monthly programs.
Welcome back. Thanks again for joining us here on this Friday, September 11th on the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. And we have Kay Oberle with us. How are you?
Oh, hi, Deb. I'm good.
Good.
So,
You're a familiar face here, have been over the years,
Yes,
county work and
various things.
Various
I just get
things.
involved in various things for some reason.
because you can't sit still,
Because,
right?
you know, ask my husband. Yeah.
What now?
Yeah, that's it.
How many irons can you put in the fire,
Yeah,
Kay?
well, a lot. You can
Yeah.
really juggle a lot.
But you've been retired from county work for how long now?
It'll be 5 years on the day of the Owatonna flood.
That's
yeah.
what she was saying. If anyone needs to remember when
September
the day
23rd,
of the
2010. I remember.
Owatonna flood was.
Yeah,
that's your
right.
mark for that.
That
That
is.
was your last day.
Yes, it was.
Oh my gosh,
So,
what a day
yeah,
to remember
it
there
was,
too.
For sure.
But we're here talking about AAUW, and you've been involved in this group for quite a number of
a
years
long
as
time,
well.
almost 30 years. I don't know, I
Okay.
kind of forget, but yeah,
Okay.
probably close to 30.
And I know some of our viewers are aware of what it is, what it stands for, what the group is, but maybe you can just, for those that
Okay.
might not, what is AAUW? What does it stand for? What do you
Okay.
do?
It's American Association of University Women is what it stands for, and it has been around, not in Owatonna since 1952, but nationally since 1881.
Oh my goodness.
So a long time.
Yeah.
You know, when and it stands. We try to get educational and equity for women, and I think getting the woman's right to vote and all that sort of thing was kind of a little
Sure.
bit of a part of it.
Part of that.
Yeah, so it's pretty much, you know, for equity for women, education, and that sort of thing is
Okay.
is what it's about.
So promoting women in higher education and all that entails,
Yeah.
helping
Yeah.
to get
And you know, we start with
good
the
jobs.
younger kids too. We with girls, we do a science and math campership during the summertime. We have 3 of those that we would like to give out, and trying to get girls to be in science and math. Sometimes that age group kind of thinks that they aren't good at it. So we kind of like to promote that too. So.
And there certainly are, you know, it's just, it's a
they are.
misperception. I think that girls kind of pull back from that, and yet there are some who are really wired and geared
there are.
to go down that
and
path.
I think more so now than maybe when I was that age, but yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
neat. So the camperships, how often does the group meet? What do you do?
We meet well, we don't meet during the summertime. Everybody has the summer off and things, it
Yep.
seems like. But we meet monthly, and we have different programs that we, educational programs, except for, well, our mystery tour maybe could be educational too. We have a mystery tour every year, and we never know where we're going to go, and that is the best attended.
Mysteries are fun.
We don't know where we're going, you know, so that's always fun. But yeah, we have various, you know, they're pretty much in the educational.
Okay. And then this fundraiser, which is probably your biggest.
It is our biggest, and it's our only.
And it's
So,
your only,
yeah,
and then
so-
that would be the biggest.
Yeah, it would
okay.
be.
And it's the Taste of Steele County,
Taste of
and
Steele County.
it also has been going on.
Well, we've done it for, this is our 5th year. It had been going on before. Contact, I believe, was
Yep.
the one that had it before us, and then they weren't able to keep going with it, so we luckily, thank you, were able to pick it up because
What a great
it's a
thing.
great fundraiser.
To pick up a fundraiser that's already kind of got
Right,
traction,
it's-
so
right.
to speak.
And it is, we used to have the house tour, and that was a lot of work. And this is some work, but it's all done in that one day, and it's you know, if you're not the chair, it's probably not so much work.
Yeah.
And I'm not the chair, so.
How many are in your group? by the
We
way?
have about 64.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I think that's a good number. In the state of Minnesota, we've lost a few branches, but we've still at 64, so we're pretty thrilled with.
Good for us here in Steele County.
Yeah, how we're doing. So
It's a great way
yeah.
to, no, it's a lot of great people to draw on for all of the things that you do and meeting and
Yeah,
a great,
right.
probably a good networking
Yeah,
and
it is good now.
putting on
Yes, I
fundraising.
think so too.
So Taste of Steele County is coming up next week. So we're kind of around the corner. It's next Thursday, correct?
Next Thursday, it's from 5 to 7 at the Eagles, so it's September 17th. The tickets are $15 for adults, and if you're 12 and under, it's $10.
Okay.
But we have 12 great vendors that we thank every day for providing a taste of their food. And can I tell you the names
please,
of the vendors?
yes, we want
'Cause
to know because that's why we come.
Yes, right. Well, we have Central Park Coffee, Costa's El Tequila. New this year, we have Fairway Foods and Spare Time Entertainment. There are two of our new
great.
vendors. So,
Okay.
Hy-Vee Deli, Mizuki Fusion, the Eagles and the Elks are both. Steve's Meat Market, and of course we can't leave the bakery from Blooming Prairie out. Everybody goes straight for their baked goods, and Tori's. So we have 12 vendors that just donate, you know, enough food for 250 people or to 300 people. So
That's amazing.
that
and
is
they all
amazing.
Set up and
they set
they're
up
there.
around the.
I know you're thankful for them, but they're also probably really thankful for the opportunity. This is one way that they get to go out and either show and taste. I guess I have people taste what is in their establishments, if it's a
Right, a
eat-in restaurant,
specialty.
or if they're out there doing catering or providing bulk amounts of food. This is their opportunity to
Yeah.
really showcase that.
They say that, so
Yeah.
we're very appreciative that they want to do it for that reason. Yeah. So,
and they do a good job. So
They
welcome to the
do.
new ones. Is that 12 mark about the right size?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. It's the Eagles. You go around the outside of the Eagles on the walls there, and it's about the right size. I don't think we could really have anybody any more maybe in there to fit.
Okay.
So.
And so do you limit the number of tickets sold?
No,
to-
we don't.
But that's about the normal attendance?
Yeah, we
Okay.
thought about limiting, but it just kind of works out. It's
Okay.
about 250 people that come.
Well, in over a 2-hour span, people may
Right.
come at a little bit different time
They
too.
do,
So some
yeah.
might come in a rush after work, and then it maybe kind of tapers off and evens out over the
Yeah,
course of the
yeah,
evening.
I think so.
Yeah, if you limit it, you may be limiting yourself too.
Yeah, right. So it like I said, it kind of takes care of itself. It's usually about 250 people, so yeah,
Okay,
it
and
works.
that's what they planned for.
Yeah.
So they can get tickets.
Well,
in what
Kotke's
way?
does
Okay.
have tickets. You can buy them at the door, and then our members all have tickets to sell
Okay.
too.
So if you know a member of the
You know a member,
AAUW,
yep.
go ahead and hit them up for a
Sure.
ticket or two.
They
or
would love
3
to
or
sell
5
it,
or-
so I'm the ticket chair, so I don't say how come you didn't sell your tickets?
Yeah. Ooh, she's putting the hammer down on the ticket thing.
Aren't I? Tough.
Yeah, you're the one in charge.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
great. That is a bunch of wonderful
Yeah.
Steele County
Yeah.
area businesses that are going to be represented there.
With our money, we have scholarships.
That was going
Maybe?
to be my.
Oops,
my
I should let you
no,
ask the
no,
question.
that's okay. You can go ahead and lead me
Yeah.
right into it. So I was going to say, with the funds raised, then
Yeah.
are they earmarked for a particular thing?
We have a number of scholarships. We have 2 Riverland scholarships that we give out.
Okay.
Wonderful recipients every year. It's always fun to meet these young women.
Is it always the graduates of?
They have to be a
High
Steele
school?
County resident.
Okay.
And going to one of our schools, and they have to have been at Riverland for 1 year. So this is a
Oh.
second-year student
Oh, perfect.
that we go with.
Well,
So,
that is really nice because sometimes people are kind of a little at loose ends when they get started, but by that second year
yes,
they
that's
might
kind
have
of
a
why
little
we
more on track. That's a
kind of
great
picked
way to
the
do
second
it.
year. And it's working with Riverland is really easy. They help
Mm-hmm.
us get the candidate. I mean, we usually have 15 people to pick from, so 15 girls. So that's quite a list. So
Narrowing it down to something.
Yeah,
Okay.
narrowing it down is really not easy.
Okay.
And then we have our environmental Rachel Carson scholarship too. That one is a little harder to find people for because you have to be in the environmental
Okay.
field, so a $1,000 scholarship there. And then we have just our regular AAUW scholarship for $1,000. That's
Okay.
doesn't have another name to it. But
Okay.
for us,
Back to the Rachel Carlson one. Is that named? That's obviously named after some key.
Rachel Carson from the environmental lady.
Oh, okay. Okay.
One of our members had passed away. She left some money and wanted to start this scholarship.
Okay.
She was in the environmental field. So sometimes it's hard, like I say, to find people that are in environmental women. But 1 year we had 5 and next year we had none. So
Okay.
you just have to kind of
Yeah. Okay.
balance that out.
Well, so the plea is out there. So be thinking about that
right,
now. When
do.
are those scholarships?
There, we have them apply in March,
Okay.
April, and then we give them out for next year then. So,
Okay,
yeah, we're
so-
done for this year. But.
And the AAUW, the general one, you said is
It's
just
just-
kind of a general scholarship
Yep.
to whomever, wherever they're going to choose to go
Right.
to further
And the
their
second-year
education.
student at least too.
Oh,
So,
second-year
yeah.
student as well.
Yeah, we're pretty tough on students.
You know what? I like that because more and more, raising children and watching friends, friends' kids. Not everyone has. Some certainly do. I wanted to be a this, and since I was
Oh,
this
right.
old, but some are still kind of looking to
Oh,
find
they are.
themselves in that first year or two after they
They are, right.
leave the high
Yeah.
school arena. And so I
Yeah.
think to kind of hone that in on that second year probably gives you a
Right.
little more success on that.
Right.
So what a great fundraiser. Again, let's go over the details of when it is, and I know we're heading for wrap up here. So
It's Thursday, September 17th from 5 to 7 at the Eagles.
Okay.
And love to see you there.
Yep, 12 vendors represented and all sorts of good things to eat, $15 tickets, get them at Kotke's, get them at the door, enjoy the great food, and I'm sure you'll find things to patronize those businesses afterwards
Right.
for,
Yes,
but
and please do.
support the
Yeah.
AAUW and all the great things that you do.
Sure.
Thank you, Kay, for joining
Yeah,
us.
thank you.
All right, we'll take a break for our sponsors, and we'll be back with a pre-filmed segment regarding the Cannon River Watershed cleanup, so please stay with us for that.
Hi, I'm Mike Bath, General Manager of the Napa Distribution Center and 2015 Corporate Campaign Leader for United Way of Steele County. Every dollar donated during this year's United Way campaign is an investment in the future of our county. Our goal this year is to raise $670,000 to create a stronger, healthier community where everyone has the opportunity to meet their basic life needs and reach their full potential. It takes all of us pulling together to meet our common goals. And thank you for doing your part to support United Way of Steele County by giving from the heart to this year's campaign.
Carbon monoxide is a colorless, odorless gas produced by gas-fired appliances in your home. The state of Minnesota requires that you have a carbon monoxide alarm within 10 feet of sleeping areas in your home. we suggest you have a digital readout carbon monoxide alarm. That way we were able to check and see what the concentration amount was when the alarm went off. This has been a public safety tip from the Owatonna Fire Department.
Hello, I'm Glenn Mager.
And I'm Michael Mager with the Brick Mager Funeral Home and the Medford Funeral Home. At Brick Mager, we are privileged to have served the families of Steele County community for 118 years.
Whether you choose traditional burial or cremation, we promise the tribute your loved one deserves with the peace of mind that you require.
We are proud to be part of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, this is Barry Gillespie, president of ERA Gillespie Real Estate, where our pledge is to save you money, save you time, and simplify your life. And we're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hello, I'm David Einhaus with the Owatonna Foundation. Thank you to all of our donors who have helped make Owatonna a better place to live. Will you join us today with a financial gift? Owatonna Foundation is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. I'm your host, Francy Hall, and Leanne and I are here at Morehouse Park. We're going to be talking about the Cannon River Watershed Partnership and the annual cleanup that's coming up locally here. We're visiting with Brad Rademacher and with Kristi Pursell. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. So let's start with Brad real quick. Brad, can you tell us exactly what you do here in the city of Owatonna?
Sure. So I'm employed by the city of Owatonna Engineering Department, and I'm the water quality specialist. I deal primarily with stormwater. So mostly my position revolves around the MS4 permit.
Which is what?
That's a permit with the state, with the MPCA, and it basically lays out essentially what we have to do as a city to keep our storm system from polluting the nearby water bodies.
Okay, and so we'll talk in a minute about what is a storm system for those people who don't know. But let's also introduce Kristi Pursell. Hi, Kristi. Thanks so much for coming down to be with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
And what is it that you do?
I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator for the Cannon River Watershed Partnership. Our office is in Northfield, but our watershed covers about 1 million acres in this part of the state. So it's the Strait and Cannon Rivers together, and it was named the Cannon River Watershed. It very easily could have been the Strait River Watershed.
So it's both the Cannon River and the Strait River. Are those the main parts of our watershed?
Yep, those are the main rivers, and then they empty into the Mississippi. But there's lots of tributaries and lakes in our watershed as part of it as well.
Right, thank you. So what exactly is a watershed?
A watershed is an area of land that all drains to a particular body of water. So we say we are the Cannon River Watershed, which means all of the land as well as the water in our area, that we can track that water when it falls, as for example as rain, then it runs off into the Strait River and eventually hits the Mississippi, where it joins a larger watershed.
Okay, and so Brad, is that what we're talking about here? Things that run off from the ground and rainwater and everything else into our water systems here?
Yep, absolutely. By nature, our neighborhoods are designed to drain, and as a result of that, there's potential for pollutants to enter our storm system.
And what are these pollutants? Well, first of all, what are they going to be cleaning up? Let's back up. When is the cleanup?
The cleanup is on September 19th. It's a Saturday, and it's going to be hosted here at Morehouse Park. Starts at 9 o'clock. Typically, volunteers will stick around till 11, 12, 1 o'clock, depending on how aggressive they are.
So it starts here, meaning we can gather here, and then do we go to other places?
Yep, we'll have the areas mapped out. We'll send, as soon as the volunteers arrive, we divide them up into groups, and then we send them out to a certain point within the city.
And what are we going to be cleaning up?
Essentially, you'd be surprised what you find in there. It's going to be anything from basketballs to old bicycles to plastic bags, just any garbage that's essentially collected in the waterways.
So it's objects that are in the water that aren't supposed to be there?
Yep.
Okay. And what are the main pollutants of water? I mean, certainly there are objects. What do the objects do? Why do those need to, I mean, obviously they're unsightly, but what else, why else would we need to take them out?
Yep, so some of my main concerns with physical objects would be deterioration and some of the chemicals and pollutants that come off of, for instance, rust. But it also clogs up our system. That stuff collects in the rivers, it collects in the streams, it collects in the catch basins on the streets, and has the potential to cause localized flooding.
So it's like a dam?
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. So then it makes it easier to flood?
Yep.
Okay, and what is, you said the catch basins, so those are on our street, those are what we call the sewers, the storm sewers?
Yeah, yep. It's essentially a catch basin. You see them in the streets. Typically at intersections and midway between the streets, and it collects all the stormwater off the streets and off the yards, then gets it put into a pipe, eventually makes its way to a stormwater pond if it was designed recently, and a lot of times it's a direct shot to the river with our older parts of town, goes untreated.
How is it, so I see a bunch of, detritus, just leaves and branches and all kinds of stuff on the sewer grate, and I usually try to pick it up and put it somewhere, but can that get in there, and can you get it out? If it doesn't run through, if it's too big?
Yeah, then that's a huge issue. Our catch basins do clog up very easily. Thankfully, we have a good crew at the Public Works Department, and they do a good job at maintaining our storm system, and they go and they'll vector out the pipes when they can, when we notice it. But a lot of times it goes unnoticed. You can't see that far down into the pipe, and a lot of times it can cause localized flooding.
Okay. So is there something we can do as the public to watch after those storm drains?
Yeah, it's just simple things that you can employ on your property as far as yard waste goes. Just even something as simple as pointing your mower in the other direction. And it is actually in our ordinance that you're not allowed to blow it into the street.
Okay. And now I know why we don't blow it into the street.
Yep,
okay,
absolutely.
That's good to know. Kristi, there are other pollutants. What can you tell us about what we're not cleaning up on Saturday?
Well, a lot of those things that Brad mentioned, leaves, we're going to start seeing a lot of leaves in our street, grass clippings, those sorts of things in our cities when we have the paved streets and the catch basins. A lot of that stuff will slip through and end up in the river. That can cause algal blooms, so too much of the organic material can really be a problem for the ecosystem in the river. So our rivers aren't used to having to deal with the leaves from the whole city. They're used to just having to deal with the few leaves that are along the river. So that's something we can't pick up every leaf and every piece of grass. So that's a great thing that people can do at home. Also, there's plenty of runoff if we use fertilizers or pesticides on our own property, as well as in the country on farms. Those things will run off, especially after a big rain event. You'll often see more sediment. Soil will run off, especially after a big rain event, and make the water cloudy. And sometimes that sediment will carry phosphorus, nitrate, those common water pollutants.
So if I am fertilizing my lawn, or I have a company fertilizing my lawn, hypothetically, what is it? That is not good. Is that what what can I do to make it a less of an impact for our water?
There's certain types of chemicals that you can use that are a little bit friendlier, that might leave out some of the really, really strong, nasty chemicals. You can also do that not right before it's going to rain, because if you apply that to your lawn and then an hour later it rains, you're going to have a ton more of it washing off into the water.
So we do get our lawn done, and I know that they intentionally say, yeah, let's do it before a rain. So I'm going to say, stop doing that. Okay. And then they said that because, well, then your pets can go on the lawn and it's safer, but it's not safer, really, for everybody.
Sure. Then it just goes someplace else. So it might go in the straight river, and the ducks and fish then deal with it instead of our pets.
So is it safe to say that if it is going to kill a bug on our lawn, or if it's going to create a greener lawn, that it's either going to kill bugs in the river, or kill fish in the river, or kill other aquatic life? Is that safe to say?
Potentially. You want to be reading labels about what kind of chemicals are in there. You could do a lot with non-chemical based, so using organic types of chemicals and procedures is a nice way, but it's all an ecosystem. So whenever there's a rain event, it really changes the composition of the river, for example, just because all sorts of new things are introduced.
Well, and you mentioned organic, but we just talked about organic leaves and trees and things like that creating greater algae blooms. And as we know here in Owatonna and all over, there's so much algae. I mean, it's just green with algae. What does that do to our water system, Brad?
What? Could you repeat
the algae?
question?
What does the algae do? That, from either organic or fertilized products entering into the system?
The algae, that's going to cause a decrease in the amount of oxygen that's in the system, and that could have an effect on some of the waterways, depending on where it goes. But I like to think that most of our system is treated by our storm ponds, and that's why you see most of the ponds have the algal blooms, and that's by design. That's by nature.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Okay, so you called those, what did you call them? The
stormwater ponds?
Water ponds. Where are those here?
There's several of them. We actually have, we have 26 of them that are publicly owned by the city, and then there's probably another 25 that are privately owned.
And we treat the water for what, for our consumption?
Yep, not for our consumption, no. It's essentially to trap all of the pollutants that come off of the yards and off of the neighborhoods. And that's what the treatment value comes from.
Okay. Well, there's so much to talk about here. I think if people have more questions about the safety of the water and the water inhabitants, go to crwp.net. And one more time, Brad, when is this cleanup happening? And who can come?
The cleanup will be held on September 19th here at the park, over in the pavilion. And we'd like to see anybody come. Doesn't matter how, all ages.
What date, what time?
September 19th, 9 o'clock.
September 19th, 9 o'clock. You have to register online. Go to crwp.net to register, or just show up. But they'd prefer to know so they can have the amount of hot dogs needed to feed all of you folks, okay? All right, thank you so much, Kristi.
Thanks, Francy.
Thanks very much, Brad.
Thank you.
And thank you, folks, for watching. Stay with us after a word from our sponsors.
Amy Swain Hearing Centers is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Dr. Amy Swain, and I want everyone to hear better.
I'm Deb Gillard. And I'm Sean McNulty with Brookdale Owatonna Senior Living Solutions.
We are assisted living and Alzheimer's and dementia care communities here in Owatonna, and formerly known as Clare Bridge and Sterling House.
And we are proud sponsors of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back for the wrap-up of today's show on this Friday, September 11th. We have begun the new school year, of course, this year for most of the schools around the area. Some even might have begun a little bit earlier, depending on where you're watching us from. And we do remind you to be cautious, be safe, look for kids walking on bikes, getting used to the routine again, buses, stop arms, and all those things. Lighting the Path fundraiser for the Children Remembered Orphanage Legacy is tomorrow, September 12th at 7 o'clock. Don't forget about that. And also, please join Steele County Humane Society for Critter Creation Day. That is also tomorrow, September 12th at 9 a.m. at the Owatonna Business Incubator Conference Room. Okay, quickly, who would we have on next week? The SCORE program, Promoting Peace Conference, OPU, Humane Society Update, Culture Fest, and the Muslim Experience Exhibition at Owatonna Art Center. We'll see you next week.